Hi and welcome to UC Partner Summit 2022. This year's event theme is Powering Partners, and in this session I'm speaking to Chris Angus from 8x8 about the latest market trends and how XClass can deliver true differentiation for channel partners in today's hybrid landscape. Welcome, Chris.
Hi Rob, how you doing?
I'm really good. Yeah, thanks for joining me and good to see you again. Chris, just before we jump into the conversation, how about we just do a quick introduction? Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and also 8x8's channel business?
Yeah, of course. Again, yeah, thanks again for having me. My name's Chris. I am the senior director for the commercial sales team for 8x8 in EMEA. I've been with the business about 8 to 9 years now. So, I guess in some markets that makes me a veteran. Yeah, things have been going really well at 8x8. Our partner community over the last 3 or 4 years has grown, exponentially. Really, one of the key drivers for us is that it's creating a channel first approach to how we go to market, and we work with huge different various organizations from very small dealer introductory relationships right through to your international major distributors. So a nice diverse model which gives a flavor for all partners looking to add 8x8 to their portfolio.
Fantastic, thanks for that. And before we dive into the XCAS piece, and I wanted to kind of just understand kind of what was how happening out there from your perspective, current market conditions, what the mood's like amongst the channel, what the challenges and opportunities they're having. What's your take on things right now?
Yeah, so interestingly, and it's quite nice to hear actually, things seem quite positive. And I think with what's going on economically at the moment, we're seeing a huge increase in the cost of living and things like that. The economy does need a little bit of positive news. And I think what you see at the moment is 2022 is definitely going to be the year for rising business investments. And we've certainly seen that from some of our own investigations and surveys we've taken part in. In addition to that, in terms of the marketplace, I feel that we will continue to see, and we've seen evidence of the consolidation of vendors. We've been saying that for a few years now. We've seen that some have come off, some haven't, but whether that's through acquisitions like the 8x8 Infused or strategic relationships between huge organizations such as Virgin Media Business and O2, we are seeing lots of those organizations join forces. Um, I feel that's primarily to accelerate the go-to-market strategies that they have and allowing organizations potentially to move from legacy solutions into the UC world we see in the cloud, without the time it takes to go through the development cycle to bring those opportunities to market. So I think that's going to be the key message for us is that it's real positive news, continued investment and lots of growth for organizations that are investing in their digital strategy.
Yeah, certainly it feels like the hybrid workplace is really happening, isn't it? It's not just a fad that's just come off the back of the pandemic. It really does feel like it's here to stay. There's a lot of challenges
Mm.
for organisations out there, trying to adapt to this new norm. But certainly that's bringing with it a lot of opportunity. Would you say? Would you agree? From the channel perspective, is that creating lots of opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. I think you can see from the organizations that were traditionally selling legacy solutions, and that's obviously accelerated 8x8's own channel growth is through those opportunities. And it's odd that hybrid working became the buzzword, then it became the cringe word in a way because it's being used by everybody, and it's kind of hard to determine really now what hybrid really means. But we certainly believe there's going to be huge amounts of growth and investment in those areas to try and compete with those challenges. Like the CEOs that we surveyed, 82% believe that the economy will continue to improve. But more importantly, the guys that own the purse strings, the CFOs, um, they said they're going to continue to invest in workforce and the digital technology to support this hybrid working environment, allowing people to be much more flexible with where they work and empowering them with the tools they need to be able to do their job successfully, without them having to be in a physical location. And I think over the last couple of years, people have made those choices and they've made new choices because they had band-aid solutions that potentially met the tasks to start with, and now it completely shifted how they wanted to use the technologies. So some of our partners that never had an option like 8x8 on their portfolio before, which is assisted 8x8 in, and we've helped their customers transition into that world of working and make it seamless as possible while still being able to use that trusted advisor, that local kind of feet on the street you get from using that channel community. And that really, really helps. And it's helped our partners hugely, being able to maintain and support their base of customers and attract new customers. Um, UCAS itself is growing through the roof, and you don't need me to tell you that. But even just looking at some of the statistics, I mean, market revenue has exceeded 1 billion already in 2021. That's like 7 million active users increase over the last year alone. And we're looking at that continuing into the contact center. That's forecast to reach $789 million in revenue over the course of the next 12 months. So lots and lots of investments by customers to try and, I guess, try and empower their workforce and also invest in that peace of mind for workforce. Not having to people to have that anxiety of trying to get back into a big commute and into the office, and allow them to, I guess, continue to maintain this work-life balance. I guess we've all adapted to over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and thanks for that. Let's talk XCAS. I mean, XCAS is something that I always associate with 8x8. When I think XCAS, I automatically think kind of UCAS, CCAS, maybe even CPAS thrown in there. Is this just a combination of the three? Is it just a marketing blurb from 8x8, or is there more to it than that? Can you kind of take us through that message and kind of how it's driving that value?
I guess that, as a sales leader, I'll have to be careful in referencing marketing blurb with that before my friends in marketing will kneecap me. So I guess that a simple way of looking at it is that it is a combination of the three technologies, but it's really what it does for the customer and our customers' customers. That's really where XCAS comes into its own. Traditionally you had these silos of contact strategy. So we had your employees working internally in one way, and then the employees reaching out to their customers in another way. And we look at employee experience and we look at customer experience separately. What XCAS does is it allows you to look at your employee experience and your customer experience on the exact same equal plane, and joining those forces using the three tools you talked about, using your UCAS, your CCAS, and your CPAS, but not having to differentiate between where you use them. So you think about the company-wide tailored experiences for all roles. So we might look at the front house team using contact center. That might be your customer services team or inside sales, for example. But they need to be able to hand off content and context to support agents, or tier two, tier three, perhaps more engineers. And having that single enterprise directory and being able to easily transition between the medias allows you to create a much more interesting and more seamless customer experience. But it also helps you improve the employee experience because you're empowering them to have the tools and the access to the knowledge internally, which means they can do their job successfully, which we all know, we've this kind of, staff attrition is always key, right? You spend lots of time training staff, and the last thing you want to do is potentially lose them because you can't empower them to be successful. XCAS helps there. We can take it one stage further. So I've mentioned CEOs and CFOs, and the one stage next on the C-suite is a CIO. Unified administrations. You think about traditional UCAS and CCAS as complete separate markets. They could be supplied by different organizations, even if they're buying from one vendor. That kind of bringing in together reselling solutions. You're having to administer two different platforms, which creates complexity. There's also cost in turn when it comes to administering those, not just in license costs, but also in the staff costs to maintain them. But having a single admin to control all those, and then mix and match licenses. So you're not forced to take the most expensive license option because one person needs it. So that real kind of, picking the different flavor ice cream depending on what what the requirement is, and then giving you the single pane of glass and the single integration framework. So if you think about one of the other visions we've seen for this year, and it's been going on for a long, long time, but integrated services are more and more important now. And that's not just, controlled by the enterprises, your 10,000 employees. Even in our small business, so sub 50 employees are requiring to integrate all their services together. Think about the growth of Microsoft Teams over the last 2 years. It's been the real success story over the most public success story over the pandemic era, right? Um, Now, if you look, I think two-thirds of organizations using Teams are looking to integrate them into a external telephony solution, like a direct routing solution 8x8 uses. So that single framework provided with XCAS in your contact center and your traditional back office UC makes you be able to connect them end to end. And then we add in the cross-functional and cross-platform analytics. So one of the only platforms in the industry to be able to offer you a 5.9 SLA against across the whole platform, not just a particular area of the platform like CCAS or UCAS. And then the one data residency policy. So all of that wrapped into one central hub of information. That's kind of, I'll say the short version of XCAS, but it feels like that might be a long version of XCAS. But hopefully that gives you a bit more of an idea of how we've consolidated those three separate applications to create just a real joined up story for customers and our customers' customers.
Yeah, and I really like that, and it makes really good sense as well. But certainly in today's world, where there's a huge amount of complexity, bringing that into one place in an integrated environment makes perfect sense from my view. In terms of how your partners have responded to this kind of XCAS integrated environment, how do they feel taking that into a sales environment and kind of pitching that? Does that kind of enable them with some differentiators? How does that look?
It's made their life so much easier because I think previously their portfolio may have had three offerings to provide this solution, and they would have to go into an organization as, Chris Angus Telecoms, but present three, rebranded platforms, potential three separate sets of terms and conditions, three separate sets of SLAs, and it creates an awkward environment for our partners to have to pitch all three of them present them as one offering to fix the problem the customer's facing. Being able to do that with one organization, so that one hand to shake and one throat to choke mentality of saying, hey, listen, everything's going to be controlled by 8x8. We're going to give you 5.9 uptime SLA against this platform, and we can give out access to over 500 UK employees. So it's not just an international organization reselling in territory. It's a large organization you can buy from. It creates a lot of ease. And as I go back to the reason why we use our partners are the trusted advisor for the customer. So it's made their life a hell of a lot easier, so much slicker in their route to market, and it really takes away that kind of decision making process they have to go through in, okay, what on our book is going to solve this customer's problem, because we can solve 99% of the problems can be solved with one application. So yeah, it's definitely empowered them, and the training and onboarding and the care and attention we provide our partners is second to none as well. So what our partners can get from us is the exact same level and attention to detail as an end customer would get. So it's really helped them and support them. So yeah, we've seen a real positive approach and a positive response to the XCaaS messaging.
That's fantastic. So, moving on a little bit then, I mean, I'm keen to just get a feel for kind of where we're heading, certainly at 8x8. I mean, you've made some significant acquisitions over the past few years. I mean, just this February in 2022, you acquired Fuse. I imagine that's probably the biggest to date. In 2019, you acquired WaveCell for the CPaaS piece and Jitsi video for, I think that was around 2018. So, what's the strategy going forward? What can partners expect from 8x8?
So yeah, you're right. I mean, those strategic acquisitions hold multiple different areas of to help us to, I guess, elevate our offering. That's from some sides is from a product portfolio, which we can integrate into our services. From other sides is to give us additional resource to be able to further enhance our development and our research and development areas. I guess we look at our approaches trying to be certainly with our partners is you almost want to be the 800-pound gorilla where we can be an organization combined with our partners so powerful and so strong and so determined that we really can be the dominant force in the industry. And that's really the underpinning message and direction for 8x8 with its partner community. We'll continue to execute against the 8x8 vision. We're starting to see our competitors to try and consolidate to also achieve what 8x8 have already been doing with XClass. So you can see that in the market today with the integrated UC and CC. So we've already got those services, and the other guys are certainly looking at their acquisitions to try and emulate that, which is again, it's a positive story for us. It has more resonance. We envisage really a world without silos, and I think that the XClass for our partners can help empower that. Every employee, every customer are connected. Organizations can be agile, responsive, and we can lower people's total cost of ownership. We can continue to provide integrated services. And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of organizations really coming to realize the benefits of that XClass messaging, and of our partner community and our partner support. They can continue to push that message and make their lives a lot easier when transitioning their legacy customers over, or new customer acquisition. And I guess to support our partners, we have an award-winning partner program. We have our partner first philosophy. I mentioned it earlier on. We are a channel first organization, right from the ground up. Everything we do from marketing and sales enablement and is designed to support our internal people, to support our partners. So we're really here to service our partner community, and I think that's evidenced in some of the accolades 8x8 have obtained over the last 18 to 24 months. And our team growth, the team growth to support that community is huge. Our channel team they're, again, I say second to none. They're fantastic. Our channel team and the relationships they build with our channel partners, they almost work for them. And I think that's what our channel can continue to see, is the continued development and investment in 8x8's products. So we can take care of ensuring that your customers and their customers have access to the right products. They can solve all their problems in one place, and we can continue to give them that global reach and global footprint, which you don't get from any multi-vendor solution. And I think that's the key takeaway, is that a single vendor solution trumps the multi-vendor solution in almost every occasion.
Chris, thank you for today's update. You've got a great story, hugely innovative at 8x8, and I'm sure we're going to see much more from you going forward. But thank you so much for joining me.
No, it's been a pleasure, Rob. As always, thank you very much for having me.
But I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. However, if you're interested in finding out more, don't forget to visit 8x8's Content Hub at UC Partner Summit. Plus, you can follow all the action on LinkedIn and Twitter using the Powering Partners hashtag. I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.